This is how you get your held appointment to taken client conversion rate up. Hi, it's Catherine with Seeking the Best, and I want to talk to you about your held appointment to taken client conversion rate. One of the most important things is your presentation. So whether you are meeting with a buyer or a seller, how are you presenting yourself? Where are you meeting? And the crucial part is the close. So you could meet somebody at your office, have the best presentation, ask great questions, but if you don't actually ask for the business at the end, they'll walk out of the room and you will not have taken that client. You need to work on your closing skills. I find most of the time the issue is confidence. It's confidence in saying, my compensation rate is X. Here's what I'm going to do for you, and this is what I ask in return. And putting the pen down in front of the paper and giving them the opportunity to sign. I can say from personal experience, when I was a newer agent, I hesitated at the end to ask for the business. You know, I would go through the whole spiel, and I'm like, great, I did an awesome job presenting what I'm going to do for them, and I asked good questions about their plans. And then I said, okay, great, I'll follow up with you tomorrow. If you're like me, you've definitely done that before. And that is how you end up losing to another agent, because somebody else comes behind you and they put the piece of paper down in front of them and say, great, let's get started today. And they put the pen on the paper and give them the opportunity to actually sign it. That's usually the biggest issue. So just for some perspective, the national average from held to taken is 80%. So if you're finding that your conversion rate, like you hold an appointment and you're not taking nearly that many, then you need to work on those presentation skills, but also the closing. So are you asking for the business? Are you sitting down at the end and saying, great? What I usually say is at the end, we've got the major terms, right? Okay, great. We've got a price figured out. We've got your timeline figured out and when we think we should list the property. And so the last thing we've got the compensation rate figured out. So the last thing to do is get started today. Here's the pen. I don't actually say here's the pen, but I put the pen down and say, okay, great, let's go through this paperwork together. And I start filling it out. And they will give you objections. And that's where practice. You have to know if they have an objection, you have to know how to handle that in the moment. Because if you can't, number one, again, you don't appear as confident as perhaps an agent that comes in and can handle the objection right then. But also, if you can't handle it, let's say they say, well, I'm not sure about the price. And you say, oh, okay, well, let me give you some time to think about it. Well, all you're doing is giving them time to meet with somebody else who will tell them what they want to hear and get the paperwork signed. Obviously, practice your presentation, work on your closing, make sure you're actually asking for the business, and then practice those objections. And that will increase that conversion rate from you went to the appointment, you held it, to I actually took that person as a client. And that is all we want, right? We have to have clients in order to have closings. So I'd love to know, what's your best objection handler? Put it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and find Seeking the Best podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.